Hello, everybody, and welcome to Curtis's Podcast Network. I'm the host of the channel. My name is Curtis Brown, and with me, as always, Isaiah, the Glitter Kitty Conquistador, aka Duval's finest on Twitter, our resident Jaguars fan. Welcome to this AFC South show. We're going to be reviewing and reacting to the Super Bowl. It's a little late, but whatever. We're also going to go ahead and let everybody know we're taking a few weeks off because we do this a lot. So we're taking a few weeks off post Super Bowl, kind of recharge the batteries a little bit, hang out with the families, make sure our wives/girlfriends are not angry at us. And then we're going to pick back up probably right after the scouting combine. And we'll get into some more team-specific wants and needs on our own individual podcasts. And then collectively we'll come together every now and then to do this AFC South show throughout the offseason. But so the Jaguars fans, you're going to be looking for Third and Teal, hosted by our good man Isaiah here. I will be hosting the Texans Talk Paddock. And then we have Unstabled, who is going to be our Colts podcast hosted by Jeffrey. And
the Texans Talk what?
Paddock. It's another name for a cage. Texans Talk Bullpen is already taken.
Gotcha.
So I had to go with a different word for it, but yeah.
Gotcha.
And then we've got a Titans podcast. Victory Road is the name of that one at the moment. It's to be determined for the name, but just be on the lookout for that. That will be coming again 3 weeks from now. So yeah, we're at 425 subscribers. Like to see those numbers jump. Like to get some likes on this one. So, yeah. We're also going to be debuting some new material throughout the offseason. So, it might hit that entertainment vibe you're looking for a little bit harder. We'll see. But, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Let's go ahead and get into the Super Bowl. 25-22 win for the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes and company gets their third ring. In 4 tries. And do you feel as if the NFL is more or less rigged with that outcome?
More.
Is it because of Taylor Swift?
It's not because of Taylor Swift. It's because Roger Goodell went on stage and was like, make sure you make more room in your trophy closet. You'll be back soon, I'm sure. Not to mention the 49ers were locking them down all game long, and then just randomly on the last play of the game, there's nobody on that side of the field at all. Dude's jogging. No.
Yeah.
It is what it is, though.
Yeah. I mean, what was it? Mecole Hardman got the game-winning touchdown?
Yeah, the guy that came back, they traded for back this season. Yeah. Just
Jet for all of
nobody out there.
Yeah. I'm just going to start off by saying this was a pretty competitive game. 10-3 at halftime. That looked like the 49ers had figured out all of the Chiefs' maneuvers. And then Andy Reid came on strong in the second half with a phenomenal game planning. And they started putting points on the board, nickel and diming their way. And then before we knew it, they had a lead. And then overtime. So my prediction was the Chiefs would win 27-24. I was the only one who chose the Chiefs on the show. Everybody else obviously went 49ers, or somebody went Taylor Swift, but it's fine. Yeah. We all chose our Super Bowl MVPs as well. Isaiah, you said CMC, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had Kelsey. And then Blake had Ayuk.
Which CMC damn sure would have been if they'd have won.
Yeah, no,
in my opinion.
No, CMC definitely put in the work to get that hardware, but unfortunately, the San Francisco 49ers or the NFL scriptwriters did not have that in the game plan. Do you think that this game has brought more doubt or cleared up some of the doubt around one Mr. Brock Purdy?
I think it cleared up a lot of the doubt. I mean, really his only bad plays were whenever he was being really pressured. which they were getting after him pretty, late in the game. The Chiefs' defense was really getting after him. I think that he did fine. I think he did well enough to win the game. I don't think he lost in the game. But I don't think he's an elite quarterback, but he's definitely solidified himself as, in the running as a franchise quarterback.
Okay. I have to agree, especially with the mountain he had to climb just to become a starter. The man has overcome obstacle after obstacle. Yes, he's on a phenomenal team. Yes, he's probably not even in the top 6 players on his own offense. But, he does what he's got to do to get the team the win, and the defense just kind of choked it there at the end.
I don't know about a mountain, but
yeah, he was.
Jimmy G got hurt, and he had Trey Lance in front of him.
No. Trey Lance was the starter, and then Jimmy G came in.
Yeah. Okay, Jimmy G also got hurt.
He did. I know,
yeah,
but
and Trey Lance was in front of him. There was no way Trey Lance was keeping his job.
No, but Trey Lance, that was the year he played like 2 games, tore his ACL out for the season. And then Jimmy G came in and played for like 5 games, messed up his knee out for the season. I feel like most seasons you don't lose 2 quarterbacks. I feel like that's a pretty substantial amount of things to happen for a third string guy to now propel himself into the conversation as being one of the top 15 quarterbacks in the league.
Shoot, give me a contract, San Fran. I'll beat him out. Christian McCaffrey over there in the flat somewhere.
Yeah, for real. Okay. Who was? Obviously, we all watched the game. Who was your Super Bowl MVP? We all know the real MVP was Patrick Mahomes. But based on what happened in the game, who's your Super Bowl MVP?
I know they lost, but I would say Fred Warner. He did everything he needed to do as well. But if I had to pick a Kansas City player, I'd say either Chris Jones or Karl Aftis. They really put in work in the second half, and Brock Purdy had no time to throw the ball. And a couple of broken plays, and them just getting after the ball got them the win. Yeah,
I'd have to agree. Chris Jones is definitely in my list of dudes who really, really stepped it up in that game. I would also go with Trent McDuffie. Trent McDuffie was covering, if I'm not mistaken, Ayuk pretty much all game. It was either him or Snead. Well, I think Snead was on Debo. I can't remember. But McDuffie had several plays where, Ayuk was wide open in the end zone and he just swatted the ball down. Trent McDuffie does not get enough love. He'll probably be the corner number 1 next season because it looks like L'Jarius Sneed is slated to become a free agent unless the Kansas City Chiefs can manipulate that cap number a little bit and make some money happen for him. But
cap's not real. They'll find a way.
That's very true. I don't think it's not real. I just think it's easily manipulated. But yeah, Trent McDuffie would be on my short list. That Chiefs defense was definitely the driving force for them all season, and it definitely paid off huge dividends for them in the Super Bowl and really in the playoff run in general. But, tip of the hat to whomever, whatever collection of people was covering George Kittle. 2 receptions, 4 yards for George Kittle in the Super Bowl. That is insane. That is crazy.
I don't think it had anything to do with coverage, honestly. He was wide open on multiple plays. He was just trying to force it to Christian McCaffrey and Debo the whole game. He was throwing to Debo in triple coverage. Yeah. And, he almost threw a couple of picks off of that. But no, like George Kittle had one play where they ran a wheel route to him down the right sideline, and he was wide open by 20 yards. Nobody in front of him. Would have been a touchdown. I think they were at the 30 or the 40. Or he'd have gotten damn close, and he just forced it to Debo in double coverage. And that's definitely something he's gonna have to work on. I did say I think he's a franchise quarterback, but he's got to work on not forcing it to his Debo and Christian McCaffrey. But George Kittle just barely got targeted all game, even when he was open.
Yeah, it was definitely a significantly quieter game than any of us were thinking would happen for him. I know Blake was really high on Brandon Ayuk, but Ayuk was kept in check. He had a couple decent, 15, 20-yard catches, but beyond that, it was small potatoes for a guy that also had about 1,100, 1,200 yards this season.
I think he had closer to like 13 or 1,400 this year.
He might have. I can't remember.
He had a big quiet year. Like nobody was talking about him, but he had a really big year.
Yeah. Who do you think is more likely to make it back to the Super Bowl next year? San Francisco, Kansas City.
I'd probably say San Francisco, only because the NFC is just a weak conference. But yeah, I would say San Francisco personally.
That's a better shot. That makes sense. There are a lot of AFC contenders. I feel like, you could pretty much throw a rock and hit one. But, okay. What do you think the San Francisco 49ers need to do to win one next season?
Pay Roger Goodell whatever they have to pay him. Give him a new private jet. Give him something. Get on your knees underneath the commissioner's desk. I don't care what you got to do, but I'm tired of this Patrick Mahomes narrative because now they're like, oh, he did it with nobody. They led the league in drops and blah, 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 blah. Then how the fuck were they there? If they led the league in drops and had all these close comeback games, why the fuck were they there? It's crazy that, this team can just get down by double-digit leads. And even Patrick Mahomes said it after the game. We're used to getting down by double digits, and then we come back and we win these games. We've been there before. We battled through adversity. Got out to me, Cole, my boy. It's just like the fact that their narrative is that they're constantly down by double digits and they somehow have a miraculous come-from-behind victory against teams that are definitely, like San Francisco was a better team, 100%. Better weapons, better, more complete defense. I think Andy Reid I think that Kansas City may have had a little bit better of a coaching staff, but I mean that talent deficit with a maybe slightly better coaching staff does not win you games like that.
No.
What in the NFL could be completely legit and whatever, but it's just one of those things where it doesn't put a lot of faith in it. Whenever you got the commissioner hugging on the quarterback, telling him to make more room in his trophy closet and all this different stuff. And, Patrick Mahomes just constantly talks about how he's so used to adversity and this, that, and the other. It's like, okay, cool. He might not have been scripted to get drafted to Kansas City, but some of those wins were definitely suspect to say the least.
I am firmly against the NFL is rigged theory. Just for anybody out there who's curious, not that anybody cares, but I just think that I think Patrick Mahomes is the next GOAT in training. He's the first quarterback to win 3 Super Bowls under the age of 30. Or at least the second. I don't know how old Tom Brady was.
NFL was rigged for Tom Brady too.
Rigged for Brady.
You're telling me Drew Brees lost 3 seasons in a row in the championship round because of controversial plays and calls? No, they were trying to keep Tom Brady the GOAT over Drew Brees. If there's one conspiracy theory I believe in, that is it in the NFL's rigged game, is that they were rigging the NFL against Drew Brees so that Tom Brady could be the undisputed GOAT.
He's not even the undisputed GOAT now.
He is, as of right now. There's no shot anybody is. He has the most touchdowns, the most yards, the most Super Bowls.
Yeah,
there's no question.
He also played for 2 decades.
Huh?
He also played for 2 decades plus.
That doesn't matter.
That's
like Emmett Smith is the undisputed GOAT of running backs. Whether we think that Barry Sanders was better or not, or Bo Jackson was, there's no doubt. Walter Payton, sure. There's no doubt at the end of the day, though, that Emmett Smith will always be the best running back of NFL history until somebody passes him. No one has. Even if he paid for 20 years, it doesn't matter. Tom Brady's the GOAT. Who's better? Who's the GOAT?
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana won what? 3 Super Bowls?
4 Super Bowls, never lost one.
Okay.
Never had a winning a game in the Super Bowl that came down to a field goal.
Let me ask you something. Is 7 more or less than 4?
It is more.
Okay. Joe Montana also had who?
1 Jerry Rice.
The greatest wide receiver in NFL history, Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
Okay. Who did Tom Brady have that was the greatest wide receiver besides Randy Moss at the end of his career?
Wes Welker.
who was a middle of the pack wide receiver.
I mean, he did lead the league in like receptions and yards for like 7 straight years.
Yeah, when you get thrown through 150 times a game or a season, yeah,
150 times a game. Yeah,
I mean, basically.
all I'm saying,
he had Gronk, but
yeah, he had Gronk too.
What didn't he also have Ronnie Lott on the other side of the ball? Were they there at the same time?
I think in the 90s. Like the last year he was in San Francisco.
Okay. But yeah, no. I mean,
then he goes to Kansas City and takes them to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, but I mean, you also got to realize too when it comes to like football conversations like this, people put Mike Vick in like the Hall of Fame conversation.
What? How does that even work?
Bro, he's been a golden ticket Hall of Famer in Madden for 40 years before he was even playing. Lamar Jackson's already passed him in every stat category for a two-way quarterback. Yeah. No, I mean, people just, it's okay. You could say Joe Montana, but I mean, at the end of the day, the numbers all point to Brady.
I mean, I guess.
Your best ability is your availability. And if he could play for 20 years and other people couldn't, that's not on him. Not to mention he won a Super Bowl at 40 years old.
Yeah.
So what if it was rigged? He still won it, I will give you that. Joe Montana was winning them before they were rigged, so shout out to him.
Yeah, and he was able to get fucking clobbered in the pocket and then no flag.
Well, that's back before ACL tears were scripted.
Yeah. That's back before concussions were given a shit.
Yeah.
Can
you see Jerry? Curious. Yeah. All right, just throw it up to him.
See what happens. Emmitt Smith played for 15 years.
Jeez. I know. Had what, 22,000 yards or something like that?
I think it's like 18,000.
I thought he broke 20.
Jerry did.
Yeah, I know Jerry did.
Jerry's at like almost 23,000. Emmitt is at I was just looking at it, so hold on. Okay. Yeah, he retired with 18,355 yards rushing, which is like 1,000 and some change above Walter Payton and Barry Sanders.
Goat.
Yeah. No. He also had the best offensive line in NFL history.
Goat. Tom Brady also did for a lot of his career.
Yeah. No, Tom Brady was it also helped that Bill Belichick exists.
No, he left and won a Super Bowl with that one guy, so that narrative's gone. You can't. No,
yeah, he didn't go to a much better team.
Belichick hasn't won a Super Bowl since Brady left, so it was all Brady. Don't you know?
That's the logic. All right. Let's shift gears a little bit. Oh
fuck.
So I lost a little bit of money on the Super Bowl. It wasn't player props. It wasn't anything crazy. I just placed a bet on who would be standing next to Taylor Swift in the box.
You put Jason Kelce?
No, I thought it was going to be Jason Kelce. It was plus 600.
Did you actually put Jason Kelce?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It ended up being Blake Lively, and then she said, fuck on national television, and then I didn't see her for a half.
That's hilarious.
She was literally just gone, and then she showed up back in the fourth quarter, and I was like, what is going on?
Roger Goodell and the boys took her in the basement and said, do that again and you're out of here.
Do that again, and they're going to need something bigger
must
than
protect the shield.
Yeah. Trying to get money, and you dropping the F-bomb on national television does not help us, ma'am. It's going to take a force bigger than Deadpool to get us off of you.
It's ma'am.
All right. Do you Jaguars news? What Jaguars news you got?
Ryan Nielsen had his introductory press conference, and let me just say, I love this guy. He's awesome.
Where was he last year?
The Falcons. He took them from like the 20s and like mid to the high 20s in every category to top 10 and everything. Plays a really aggressive front. He definitely prioritizes going towards the ball rather than getting away from it. I think that Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker are going to do some rotation inside a little bit. I think that they're going to be constantly rushing the passer. I don't think we're going to see them dropping in coverage very much, except for every once in a while to kind of do a little off pitch type stuff. But yeah, no, I mean, I like him a lot. He said a lot of great things. And it didn't feel to me like other coaches that have been in other situations where they kind of like say what you want to hear. He was kind of saying what he wanted to say. Yeah, I mean, I like him a lot. I think he's got a level head on him from what I could tell so far, which of course introductory press conference doesn't really say much, but at the same time, just his answers and the way he was approaching things, I really liked it. He also has a fucking rockin' mustache. You know, God, that mustache, love it. But yeah, I mean, one big thing too is, he wasn't delving into where players are going to play and which players he likes the most and this, that, and the other. And he did say, one of the things he looked at when he's coming here is that how talented Jacksonville's defense is. And he said, but of course, you got to have discipline. You can't just have talent. Where I feel like a lot of last year was just kind of like letting players use their talent, not really putting them in a place to play well and scheme well. A lot of players on Jacksonville's defense last year said they were confused a lot of the time. They weren't lined up in the right spots. They were just kind of doing what they were doing because they didn't really have a clear picture of what they were supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And he's bringing in a good staff so far from what I can see. He also was he played for Pete Carroll his last year at UCLA. Or is it USC or UCLA?
USC.
USC. He coached under Ed Ogeron. He coached under, Arthur. He named a couple of guys that were pretty great. People to be under at different points in time. But yeah, we'll see, man. I'm excited for him. I think he's going to put us in a good position to win some games. And, now Trent Baalke, I mean, he likes those guys with traits that can really get after the ball. And I think Nielsen can kind of put them to maximize their talent. But we'll see what everybody's made of whenever it comes down to it.
Just as a blind question, who do you think stands to gain the most with Nielsen in the building in the defensive side of the team?
So I mean, a lot of people are going to say, Josh Allen or Trayvon Walker. I actually think that, Tyson Campbell. He's a guy out of Georgia that's big and physical. He is not afraid to hit somebody. He had a down year last year because, I mean, again, the scheme sucked. They had him in the wrong place. Maybe he wasn't paying attention. Maybe he was in the wrong place. But it was just a thing. He got hurt for most of this year, came back immediately on Jamar Chase and just got, big boyed by him. It'll be interesting to see how he moves forward. But I mean, we were all thinking he was going to be the next Jalen Ramsey for us. And then, kind of had a down year this year. But I think he's going to have a big season. Also, Andre Cisco. I think Cisco is going to have a really big year getting after the quarterback, hitting people in the hole. I think he's gonna have Andre Cisco flying around in this defense.
Okay, hell yeah. I'm trying to think here. There's not been any Texans news. Other Super Bowl related things. The defensive coordinator for the Chiefs just got a raise and a contract extension. The defensive coordinator for the 49ers got fired.
Yep.
Steve Wilkes is out of a job this moment. Steve Spagnuolo's locked in for another 3 years. So clearly the margin for error, the deeper you go into the playoffs, is very slim. Do you think it's fair that Steve Wilkes got fired?
I don't know too much about the 49ers, so it's hard for me to say. I don't know how long he's been there. I will say, though, that, I mean, they had an epic collapse at the end of the game. It hurts that they lost Dre Greenlaw. I don't think that it was necessarily fair to fire him immediately. I think that they should have taken a step back and really evaluated everything and then made that decision. But I definitely understand. The last play of the game and really the last drive, I mean, people were just wide open. Travis Kelce was open for 20 yards. I mean, it was a piss poor performance by that defense late in the game. And I don't necessarily think it was on the players fully, but I don't think it was fair to fire him immediately.
Yeah. I'm trying to look up where he was at. He was the head coach of the Carolina Panthers in 2022. And then he
was he like the interim or something?
2022? No.
I don't remember him being the head. I guess I don't really pay attention to the Panthers very much, but
yeah. I mean,
weird that they just gave him a 1 year.
Well, I know. He filled in the defensive coordinator role for D'Amico Ryans, who obviously left for Houston.
Yeah.
But he was only there for a year.
Weird. Yeah, I feel like that was way too early to fire him, unless he wanted to be gone.
He was the interim head coach for the Panthers. You are correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Who was the coach that year? That was
2022. It was before Reich. So
yeah, I'm trying to think.
was it Matt Rule?
Yes, it was Rule. Rule got fired during the season. That's right.
Okay. Yeah. So interim head coach there. He was also the defensive passing game coordinator / secondary coach. He was also the head coach for the Arizona Cardinals in 2018 when they went 3-13, and he was fired after that season.
Classic.
Yeah,
he really only gets a lot of one shots. Like he doesn't really get any chances.
Yeah, for real. Like let the men build.
Yeah, I mean that defense was regarded as one of the best defenses in the league this year. And yes, because they had great players. Also, they're playing a solid scheme. But damn, to get rid of him that quickly, especially after losing his number 2 linebacker like early in the game, that's ridiculous.
I want to see what the difference was, because when D'Amico Ryans was there, the defense in San Francisco ran a lot of zone coverage.
Yep.
Specifically, cover 3. Let me see what the split was on this one. Hold up. 79.7% of their plays were zone. The second highest rate among the 14 teams, the NFC. That sounds like it's up a little bit, but D'Amico runs significantly more cover 3 than anything else in zone coverage. I couldn't find anything immediately whether or not that was some sort of differentiating factor, but
I'm a big hybrid 3-4 cover 3 believer.
Yeah, a lot of people see it as prevent, but whatever.
I mean, it is when you drop everyone back.
Yeah,
just because you're up by a score.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that, but people are ridiculous. All right. I think that's about all I wanted to talk about in this one. Do you have anything else?
No, just waiting on some news on when we're going to sign Josh Allen and how much,
Yeah. How much cap room do the Jags have this offseason?
I think we're at like 16 or so million. But I mean, we've got some guys that we can make some options and move some stuff around. I'm assuming they're going to throw a void year or 2 on Christian Kirk's contract. Good chance they tag Ridley. And then I think that they are going to either restructure or get rid of Big Roy Robertson Harris. Then Cam Robinson will either get a restructure. He might be a cap casualty. We'll see. We think we save like 16.4 mil if we cut Cam Robinson.
Jesus.
So yeah, shitty contract, fucking idiots. But of course, we needed a left tackle and whatever.
Did you guys franchise tag him?
Huh?
Didn't you guys franchise tag him last
season? So we
originally,
not last season. Last year was Evan Ingram. The year before was Cam Robinson, Doug Peterson's first year. Wait, no. The year before was fucking Dick Ass's first year last year. They franchise tag Cam Robinson, then they signed him to a 3-year, like $62 million deal or some shit like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Old Dick Ass.
Old Dick Ass.
Old finger guns. Pow.
Okay. Houston's got some cap space to work with. Indianapolis got some cap space to work with.
Tennessee's got the
most. Yeah, Indianapolis is not going to use their cap space unless they're just re-signing players that already are under contract. But there's a lot to talk about coming up in this offseason. So please be sure to subscribe to the channel. We are going to be expanding into team-specific podcasts. Texans Pod, Jags Pod, Colts, Titans Pod, hosted by the guys who make up this show. So please don't forget to check those out if you're a fan of any of those 4 teams. We'll be rolling out some new entertainment style content that will also be informative, but will also get you a good belly laugh, hopefully. Hit the like, subscribe button. We're trying to grow, trying to get to 1,000. Without any further ado, Y'all be good people. We are Texans.